Congratulations on your new Lowrider 2.0 electric bike from Magnum Bikes. I'm Dusty here to show you the quick 4 steps of assembly. First, we're going to take your bike out of the box, remove all the packaging, and make sure that all of your parts, accessories, and tools are present so that you can get riding. You can open the box by cutting the tape, popping the staples, and removing it with a friend, or if you have a blade, I can show you a nifty way to just cut down the corner of each front side. It should be the side that says Magnum. Careful not to cut yourself. You shouldn't worry about cutting the bike because there's some foam in place there. And then you have a nice flap and the reveal. We're going to clip off all of the packaging and zip ties that hold your bike in place and lay out all of our parts and tools for assembly. Make sure that your bike came with the included 10-piece toolkit, your pair of pedals, your charger is in that box, your front wheel along with the quick release skewer axle, your front fender, and your light. We like to do the front wheel first. You'll want to make sure that the front wheel, along with the disc rotor and the quick release, came with your bike. Then we're going to take the non-lever side of the quick release and just unscrew that and remove one of the springs. Then hold up your wheel with the disc rotor side towards the lever. We're going to insert that quick release skewer through the hub and install the spring and the nut. Only turn the nut about a half to 1 turn. Then we're going to remove the spacer that came in your disc brake rotor. You can throw this away or recycle it. Then you're simply going to lift the fork of the bike and watch your handlebar. The handlebar is perfectly fine to hang a little bit there. And we're going to install it on the open quick release. And if it's not falling on, just unscrew the nut just a little and then it should fall right into place. And then we're going to tighten the quick release so that the camming lever is relatively firm to close. And gravity will help your wheel be totally seated in the fork. Next step, we're going to install our stem and handlebar. Once the front wheel is installed, you can put down the kickstand and the bike will stand on its own. First thing we'll do is remove this 5mm bolt in the top and remove this silver shipping spacer. You'll just want to make sure that there's still one black ring on your steer tube, and you can throw this away or recycle it as well. The tool-free adjustable stem opens up. You slide this lever and you can open this camming lever. And then you can see the bolt that we're going to tighten down through this hole. And here's where my 5mm Allen will come in handy. And we're going to tighten this until it's firm. Once that is firm and there's no distance between these spacers, we're going to adjust the tension of the handlebar. When you have the handlebar where you want it, you would close the camming lever, but the handlebar shouldn't move. You can tighten the tension by opening your camming lever and with your 5mm Allen again, tightening this long bolt that runs the length of the stem. And you can play around with the tension you like. I like it rather tight so that I can do bunny hops and tricks. Next, we're going to tighten these two 4mm Allen bolts with the next size down in your toolkit. And you can straighten the stem by holding the wheel with your foot, making sure the stem lines up with the tire. And then we're going to tighten these, alternating between them to get even tension. You get more leverage with the long side, so your final tightening should definitely be done with the longer side as leverage. You want this tight enough that it doesn't slip when you try to steer the bike. Once you have your handlebar and stem installed straight and tight, we're halfway done. And on to step 3, which is your front fender and headlight. For this step, you'll need your 4mm Allen wrench, your 5mm Allen wrench, and the 8mm open wrench. You're going to slide your fender up on the tire until that tab is kind of resting against the fork here. And then we're just going to install these sliding mounts to these bolts here. We'll start by loosening the nut on the back of this 4mm bolt. And try not to lose your washers. Then we're going to install the fender eyelet on the outside of that hole and tighten the nut on the back side. Careful not to over tighten it, since these are polycarbonate. If you over tighten it, they could crack. And finger tight at first is okay. When you have both of them installed, then you can go back and tighten them with the wrench. If you're having trouble mounting this, it's possible that these adjustable sliding bits need to be loosened with your smallest Allen wrench, and then they can adjust further and closer to the fork. You'll just want to make sure and tighten them afterwards. Once those are firmly tightened, now the fender is held in place a little bit, and you can loosen this bolt on the back of your fork arch. Your bolt is going to go through the silver bracket on your light and then through your fender tab and into the fork. It's a good idea to start this by hand so that you know the threads are going in straight. Then tighten it with your 5mm Allen wrench. And you want this tight enough that your light doesn't move about when you're riding. Finally, we're going to plug our light into the power from the bike. You'll notice that the connection from the light has a ridge and it only goes into this plug one way. It is a waterproof connection, so it helps to do it slightly at an angle and stretch the waterproofing sheath. Then you can tuck this extra cable out of the way however you want. There is a little extra just in case you want to use our front carrier accessory. The pedals are left and right specific, and the left and right is from the rider's perspective. You can tell which is which by an R and an L on the spindle of the pedal, and also from the rider's perspective, you should be able to read the well go while you're on the bike. We're going to start by hand, and the right pedal threads to the right, righty-tighty. The left pedal is opposite threaded, so actually threads to the left. We'll start them by hand, not with the 15mm wrench, just to make sure that the pedal threads are not being cross-threaded. Once you get them hand tight, then you'll give them a final snug with the included 15mm wrench. Now, assembly is complete. We're just going to do a couple final checks and then go on a ride. If your battery needs charging, the charger is inside this box, plugs into a regular wall outlet, and plugs onto the back side of the battery here. Your keys are not required to operate the bike, but they're to remove the battery. You can charge it on and off the bike, and they should be zip tied to your handlebar here. There's two of them, so separate these because you'll need them to remove the battery during cold winters or for travel or convenience. Now you're ready to ride. To power on your bike, press the power button here on the up and down arrow next to the throttle on the left. And if you have any questions about how your bike works, the assembly, or anything else, you can certainly reach out by phone or by email. Find those details on our website at magnumbikes.com. And also, your owner's manual and assembly guide that came with your bike are invaluable tools and resources that you should keep handy. Thanks, and happy trails. Happy trails to you.